Hello, welcome to One on One. I'm your host, Greg Walker. I think we've got an interesting guest on the show today. He is Justin Swallows, and Justin is our sports director for 1400 WJZM and also 105.1 on the FM The Wolf. And Justin has been in TV and radio. I mean, really and truly, he's a young man, but it seems like he's been in it a long time. Today, we're going to talk some sports. We're also going to find out much more about him as a person, his thoughts, opinions, and comments on a wide array of subject matter. Settle back, relax, and enjoy a fun, down-to-earth conversation with a nice young man. Justin Swallows joins us right after these words.
It's the Bottom Line Model Year-End event at Matthews Nissan, Clarksville's favorite new car dealer.
You're going to love our selection.
Save big on remaining 2017s. Lease a new Altima, $189 per month. Lease a new Rogue Sport, $159 per month. Or lease a new Sentra, $149 per month. Unbelievable. MatthewsNissan.com.
You're going to love our prices.
You're going to love our prices. Matthews Nissan.
The Leaf Chronicle is now available on every device you carry or don't carry. All things Clarksville in all media 24/7. Subscribe now for full access.
For 100 years, Neil Tarpley Parchman Funeral Home has celebrated legacies with services as unique as each life.
Neil Tarpley Parchman, people who care, a name you can trust.
Welcome to our show today. Justin Swallows is in the house. Great to have you, man.
Great to be here, Greg. I really appreciate it. I'm honored. I really am. I was just telling you before we got started here, I've been watching this show for years, and it really is an honor to be here.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. That's mighty kind of you. Once again, Justin is our new sports director for 1400 WJZM and 105.1 The Wolf. And hopefully you tune into those. And you've even, of course, if you don't know, I've got a sports talk show that's on Monday and Thursday from 4 to 6. Has been for 37 plus years now. But you sit in with me occasionally on Monday. We do it Monday and Thursday.
It's another thing that I'm honored to do, to be on Sports Talk, the longest running sports talk show in America. You've got a great thing going. You must be doing something right, because you've kept it going for all these years.
All those years we have been, but we can always use more sponsors.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Why wouldn't everybody jump on that? Yeah. It's a great opportunity and tons of listenership. Very interactive. That's what I love about the show. You've got people committed and loyal to something when they'll call you and contribute to what you're doing, and you got tons of that with Sports Talk.
Yes, sir. The Wallies.
Yeah.
The Norris Heggies. The Philip Albrights. From Rogersville, Alabama. You get the Alabama side of it. You get the AP Deans from, you get all different kinds. Of course, Joe Mills helps me on Thursdays. He's a pleasure, too. Let's talk about you, though. This is not about me. This is about you, Justin Swallows. Born in Crossville?
Crossville, Tennessee, a little town. I always say it's a little town nobody's ever heard of, but you'd be surprised how many people tell me that, I've heard of Crossville. Right. If you're a golfer, you've heard of Crossville. A lot of people come through and play golf. They call it the golf capital of Tennessee. That's their claim to fame.
And I see Clarksville tries to call it the golf capital of Tennessee.
Okay, so maybe a lot of people have that claim.
Yeah, they do. That's what it is.
But it's on billboards and water towers and everything in Crossville.
I got you.
That's their selling point.
Because they've had some good golfers come out.
Yeah, some good golfers, a lot of nice courses, and a lot of people retire to Crossville for one reason or another. It's a very rural area, but I could see myself going back there and retiring.
It's a beautiful community.
It is. I always say the farther, and I don't want to offend anybody, but the farther east you go in the state of Tennessee, the prettier the state gets. This is the ugly part of the state, in my opinion.
No, man, you're wrong.
This is the flat, ugly part of the state.
About?
When you go east, the state of Tennessee gets
beautiful.
much prettier.
I think you got to get to west before you can say that.
The farther west you come, the uglier it gets.
Yeah, but Middle Tennessee's beautiful, man.
That's the pretty part of the state over around Knoxville.
It's beautiful over that way. I'll give you that. It's no doubt changing of the colors when that happens.
And I mean, what do people in West Tennessee do? Every fall, they always travel over to East Tennessee to spend a weekend in Knoxville, Pigeon Forge. You know, that's a very popular thing. Gatlinburg.
But all the people in East Tennessee, they come over to Middle Tennessee and all to get educated.
Oh, well, now that's what I did. So maybe I'm finally starting to get there, or maybe I'm still not getting it. I don't know which
All
it
right,
is.
you went to Crossville High?
Cumberland County High School. That was the only school there then. There are now 2 schools, and I think that just ruins everything in terms of athletics, because it was all we could do when I was in school to have some decent sports programs, and now they've split all that talent in half, and they really struggle.
All right, you got Cumberland, and what's up?
Stone Memorial High School.
And that's the other high school.
Yeah, the Stones were very prominent. They're a very prominent family there in Crossville, and they donated the land, so that's why it is Stone Memorial High School.
Stone Memorial High School.
Right next to the interstate. If you drive through Crossville, you'll see it.
Now, your family, what did your parents, what did they do?
My family is a farming family. My dad is a green bean farmer, snap beans. If you buy snap beans in the grocery store, you might be buying some of Dad's beans.
Really?
Sells a lot of them to Publix, so if you go there, you might be. They're fresh, fresh market beans, not the ones in the can. But if you buy them from the vegetable section of the grocery store, they could be coming from Swallow's Produce.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I've got a bunch. Yes, sir. Yeah. Initially, it was just me and my younger sister. My parents divorced, and then I've got a half sister, I've got a half brother, and a stepsister. So,
yes, you do have quite a large family.
We're a blended family, but we've done a pretty good job with it, I think.
Now, where did you meet your wife?
We met at Austin Peay.
So you went from Cumberland High. Why Austin Peay?
Well, I don't have a really good reason, to be honest. It was just kind of fate. I had a buddy of mine. I was set on going to Middle Tennessee State because I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. It's all I've ever wanted to do. I've been calling games.
Even when you were in high school?
I've been doing play-by-play since I was 15. I used to, before I got my driver's license, I rode the team bus with our high school football team to go do the games. So I've been calling games for a long time.
So you do them on the radio then?
Yeah. And I knew that's what I wanted to do, and wanted to go to Middle Tennessee State because I thought that was the thing to do. If you wanted to be in broadcasting, one of the best broadcasting schools in the country, Middle Tennessee State. Well, I got to looking at it, and it was such a big school, and it was, I did a campus visit, and I went during school and saw just how busy everything was, and I was a little overwhelmed. And I had a buddy of mine that was coming to Austin Peay, and he said, you got to come check this out. So I just came up with him, actually one weekend in the summertime, nothing going on campus at Austin Peay in the summer,
right.
But just came, checked out the campus, talked with him a little bit about what he thought the main selling points of the school were, and just made the decision to come this way, and I've never regretted it.
You haven't, have you?
No, not one single day.
You are a peanut.
Yeah, I love the Govs, no doubt.
Look here,
and I tell you, what I really love about Austin Peay athletics in specific, and you and I will talk about Governor Sports, but I really love that you're pulling for a squad that's more times than not the underdog, but it's an opportunity to me with Austin Peay athletics to get in on the ground floor of something. You got into it when you weren't getting in on the ground floor. You were buying in at the peak. When you got into Austin Peay athletics. I was
going to school here. Don't forget, when I was a fan and first started, you could lay down in the Little Red Barn in any section.
Okay.
You could lay down.
Maybe I'm missing the timeline.
And then Fly Williams and all came.
And it blew up.
You're right. And I enjoyed it. So I've seen both sides.
And right around that same time was the best Austin Peay football's ever been, too, wasn't it?
Well, now that's true in the early 60s. That's true. In mid-60s, right in that little early 60s, mid-60s. You're right. But I've seen the good, bad, and ugly of Austin Peay, believe me.
Well, I've seen mostly bad, but I feel like I've had an opportunity to buy in on the ground floor, and I'm going to be able to tell people I remember when it wasn't this good,
Right.
So I'm looking forward to having that conversation.
Right. So you come to Austin Peay, and you meet your wife.
I did. I met my wife at Austin Peay. It's a little bit of a convoluted story. I don't mind telling it. Facebook had just started. Social media was the thing. And the first thing I'm thinking when I come to college is there's all these new girls I got to meet. So
Yeah.
so I jump on Facebook and I look for any halfway attractive female that has common interests of me, and I'm friending them all. I'm trying to meet people.
Yeah.
Well, I end up on this. I don't know if you call it a date, but I had a young lady offer to make me dinner. And I go to her apartment, and I get there, and she doesn't look anything like her Facebook. I hope she's not watching. She doesn't look anything like her Facebook picture.
Do they ever?
She looked nothing like it.
Did you look anything like your Facebook?
I did, exactly. I mean, look, you get what you see with me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm 100% exactly what I'm advertised as. But this gal
Always
was not.
have been.
So I get there, and it's all I can do to not just run away. But I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be cordial. So I'm hanging out there, and we're on opposite ends of the room. We have dinner. We're watching a movie, and we're on opposite ends of the room. I'm in a chair on one side of the room, and she's on the couch. And I'm just waiting for the movie to end so I can bolt out of there and never talk to this girl again. And in walks her roommate, and very attractive. I'll never forget this moment. And I'm like, now, this is the girl I need to be on a date with.
Right.
And it's the girl I end up marrying.
Unbelievable.
So it all worked out.
The Lord works in mysterious ways. I say it again.
My bad blind date ended up to be what is now we're celebrating 7 years, my wife and I, on next Monday.
Yeah, well, you've dated us, so today is the 30th of...
No, I said next Monday. I mean, I wouldn't...
Oh, that's right, but it is the 30th of August. This could be replayed sometime, but it is the 30th of August.
Yeah, September 4th is our anniversary.
And that's mine's the 23rd of September, by the way.
And my wife always gives me a hard time because that night when she walked in, she's just a roommate. It was just her roommate, and she was just trying to introduce herself and get out of there. And I actually asked her out right on the spot. They had just put the lights out on Riverside Drive. I'm fairly new to town now. I got here in August, and this is October, end of October, and they just put the lights out on Riverside Drive for Christmas. And I said, I just worked it into the conversation. I was trying to be real slick. I said, they just put those lights out on Riverside Drive down here. I said, we should all three of us go look at them.
Really? And
yeah.
Did all three of them?
No, she wasn't having it. She always gives me a hard time about doing that. How tactless she thought that was. Whatever I did, it ended up working out.
I got you.
That's the way I met my wife.
Justin Swallow's our guest. Segment 2 coming up right after this. Great story.
The Leaf Chronicle is now available on every device you carry or don't carry. All things Clarksville in all media 24/7. Subscribe now for full access.
Welcome back. Our guest is Justin Swallows, and Justin is the sports director for us at 1400 AM, WJZM, and of course, The Wolf, 105.1 on the FM. And he hasn't been with us long now, but has it been enjoyable?
It's been excellent. It's a dream job. I'm running my own sports department, working with a legend like you, and it's awesome. I've had a lot of freedom. I've been able to start some things and get some new things going, and we've really hit the ground running. Got a couple of high school football broadcasts that we've got going. We've got a brand new high school football scoreboard show that we do on Friday nights, just recapping everything in our city.
That comes on on 1400 AM WJZM. Comes on after the Academy game.
Right after the Clarksville Academy games, and goes all the way till 11 o'clock. Final Score with Christian Christensen. Really a good show, and so that's something new. We're doing sports updates. We're doing 4 sports updates a day now in drive time on both stations.
Give them the time.
So on the AM side, they're at 7:20 and 8:20 every morning. And also in the afternoon at 3:20 and 6:20 on the AM. On the FM, they're at 7:20 and 8:20 in the morning, and at 3:20 and 5:20 in the afternoon. So drive times. I mean, when you're on your way home from work, you got an opportunity to hear what's going on in the sports world, regionally, nationally, but more so on the local scene as well.
Well, they're good shows. You do 3 little spots in there. And also, let's not forget the Sports Splash on Saturday. Did you mention it?
I have found great joy in doing a little sports talk myself. It's something that I hadn't really stepped off into. I've been doing it now for 2 years, though, and I love it. And I've been blown away. Greg, the idea when we started the show is and maybe it's a confidence issue, but I never felt like that. Why does anybody want to hear my opinion? Why does my opinion matter? And so when I started the show, I felt like we've got to bring some folks in here and give some credibility to this show. So on Saturday mornings, every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock on WJZM, we do the Saturday Sports Splash, and it's all about bringing in somebody who either plays for, coaches, or covers your favorite teams.
Yeah.
And we do that every single Saturday, and I feel like...
He has 3 different guests normally.
Yeah, I feel like we bring in some pretty good ones.
You do. You bring in some great ones.
So,
you've even had, good gosh, a former coach at... Tennessee, now at Auburn, I've gone crazy.
Yeah, Bruce Pearl was on the show recently.
Bruce Pearl on.
Bruce Pearl was on the show. Albert Hainsworth has been on the show. You know, he had a great career with the Titans.
And and you have a lot of people that have websites, a lot of people that are broadcasters from different schools, different things. It's a good show. And that's what you do. It's not a call-in show like Sports Talk on Monday and Thursday, 4 to 6. It's to get these people and see what's going on in the world of sports, and it's well done.
Well, it's an opportunity to hear from some real experts, I hope, because I don't consider myself one, so I try to bring in some.
Look, we all start that with the main thing we all are. The main thing, we're fans.
Sure, that's what I am.
We
for
enjoy.
Sure.
I mean, hey, if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to be good at it. And we're fans. And then you gain product knowledge through being, over the years, covering all these sports. That's how it works. Now, you're still a young man, but how many years have you been covering sports now?
Well, I told you earlier, I've been calling ball games since I was 15 years old.
15 years old.
So,
and now you're what?
And now I'm 29.
That's
so
29.
Yeah.
I mean, 14 years.
I had to think about that
You
for a
got
minute.
it. And you came to WJZM. I mean, you were in Kentucky for the last couple of years?
Yeah, I ran a local sports TV network for a telecommunications cooperative there for the last 4 years in Western Kentucky. So that was a good experience. But I
guarantee you.
I was talking earlier, it's just really good to be back home and covering teams in this area.
Yeah. Well, there's no place like home. And your wife works in the area.
This is home. Clarksville is home.
It is home now?
Yeah.
Crossville's not home?
No, this is home for now anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you got that pea blood in you, son.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. But to me, Clarksville's home.
All right, come on. You got that pea blood in you.
East Tennessee's still a pretty part of the state now, but this is home.
Austin Peay's number 1.
Sure.
But UT's number 2.
Well, I grew up a huge Vol fan. I chose to be an Austin Peay fan. I chose the Governors, but I was force-fed the University of Tennessee. So I didn't have any choice growing up. Crossville's about 45 minutes from the campus in Knoxville, and my dad's still a season ticket holder, goes to all the football and basketball games there, and so I love the Vols too, just full disclosure, but if they're playing Austin Peay, I'm for the Govs.
That's right. Like, I'm a Vandy fan.
Yeah.
I have been, I mean, grew up, Larry Munson made me a Vandy fan, the broadcaster. Made me a Vandy fan. I've stayed with them over the years. But when they play Austin Peay, it's a no-doubter. It's a no-brainer. And, I hope one day you get the opportunity, as I have. I've called Austin Peay and Vandy and Austin Peay and UT. Matter of fact, one of my greatest thrills was our basketball win at UT.
Because as a Vandy fan, you got a little extra hate for UT, don't you?
Well, no. Let me tell you, I never have rooted against Peyton Manning in a game he's ever played. I'm a Peyton Manning fan. I get players. See, the older you get, things like that go out the window. No, I'm not that way. Coaches, I become fans of teams because of coaches. It's just like when Michigan, we're talking about, but when Michigan's going to play Florida, I like both these coaches, Harbaugh and McElwain. So I know we got an SEC team here, so I'm going to root for the SEC team, but I like them both.
See, I don't understand that. You know, what is with this conference pride thing? I don't get that. For me, I'm never going to pull for Florida, and I'm never going to pull for Alabama. I don't care who they're playing. Ever.
At least you're honest.
I will never be for either one of those teams.
So
I guess I'm trying to paint you in the same light as I know I am, and I'm a little bit of a hater. I mean, those rivals I can't stand.
I'm not that.
I'll never root for Murray State in anything.
I've grown. I do. If Murray's playing in the NCAA tournament representing our
I hope
conference,
they get beat by 40.
Well, not me. I want them to win. I want them to
I'm
win.
a hater. I mean, go ahead and say it, but
You
I
are.
I know. There's just there's certain coaches. You were saying you pull for teams because of their coaches. I hate teams because of their coaches.
Well, there's some I don't like, and I don't use the word hate. There's some
that's
I
a
don't
strong
like.
word,
It is a strong word.
But that's what everybody wants to label me as, is a hater. So I mean,
you got a little in you.
Yeah,
You've already
I guess
said
I do. I guess
you
I
got a
do.
little in you, and there's people out there. You're not alone. I mean, believe me, you're not alone. And it used to be that way with me, but now and it's just like, hey, I grew up in Clarksville, and I graduated from Clarksville High because back then, but when I'm not a Clarksville High fan any more than I am ever who represents us, this city that does good, that's who I'm for. I don't care if it's Northwest or Kenwood or Northeast. You see what I'm saying?
inconsistent.
When Travis Stevens and them had this great team out here, man, I loved it.
I'm inconsistent because I'm a little bit that way too. But there's just certain teams that I just can't pull for.
I got you.
I would have loved to seen Jacksonville State win the national championship in football. You know, I'm a Austin Peay football fan, but I would have loved to seen Jacksonville State win it when they had the opportunity. But now, had that been Murray State, that's the last thing I would have wanted to see.
I mean, hey, there's a lot that feel that way. A lot. You're not.
And I'm just being honest. I told you.
That's that's what I like. That's what you need to be. Hey, don't be phony. Let me get this one. I got to. Best advice you've ever received.
It was drilled into my head when I was younger. My dad has always told me over and over again, and still to this day, anything worth doing is worth doing right. And I know that's simple, and a lot of you have probably gotten that advice. But if you're not going to do it right, don't do it. And that's that. I've lived by that. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And if I don't feel like doing it right, or I'm not going to do it right, then I just won't do it.
I love that.
Well, I've been told that over and over again.
Justin Swallow, stretch run right after this.
For 100 years, Neil Tarpley Parchman Funeral Home has celebrated legacies with services as unique as each life.
Neil Tarpley Parchman, people who care, a name you can trust.
Stretch run. We've just got a little over 3 minutes left. It flies, doesn't it?
It really does.
Let's just make it some fun stuff to end then. Of course, everybody knows he's a new sports director, and we're glad to have him for 1400 AM WJZM and 105.1 on the FM. What is it? The Wolf.
The Wolf.
The Wolf. And we're glad to have you there. Give him a call. He'd be glad to come see you and talk to you. But let's talk about, we both love good food, don't we?
Man, I tell you, that I was telling you the other day, actually, that one of the things I love the most in life is sitting down to a good meal.
Amen.
I mean, I love to eat. I want to know, in every town I go to, I want to know where's the best steak in town. I want to know where's the best chicken wings in town.
I'm with you.
That's the kind of questions I ask.
even want to know where's the best hot dog place in town.
Yeah, sometimes.
See, I love a good dog. In every arena I ever went to,
Which is the best hot dog?
that's what I got to tell you. You know, and popcorn. I like to. I'm gonna. Murray's hard to beat now. When they give you a big bag of popcorn for like $2, $3. I mean, grocery sack full almost. Can't beat it anywhere in the valley.
That's the best hot dog and the best popcorn in the OVC are at Murray State.
That I found.
I'm going to test it out. I'm going to try to get everywhere this season, maybe.
You need to do. What's the strangest thing you've ever had to eat?
The strangest thing I've ever eaten? Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of escargot. You ever eat snails?
Well, it's nothing I haven't tried.
Yeah.
I've even ate fried grasshoppers.
And then I was in Africa one summer. When I was in high school, I went on a mission trip to Africa, and they had mopani worms, grub worms, deep fried grub worms. And they were pretty good.
Pretty good.
My thing was they were a little bit salty, a little bit sweet. I said I could just sit there and eat a bucket of those while I was watching TV or something, watching a ball, just like popcorn. You were talking about Murray State.
Oh, I love it.
It was the same kind of flavor.
Best drink?
My favorite drink, I'm a Coca-Cola guy. I'm not. Don't come at me with Pepsi. Now, I'm never been a Pepsi fan. And there's a difference. No, I don't do any. You can take one look at me and tell I don't eat or drink anything diet.
You don't diet.
I don't drink light beer. I don't want anything diet. So
nothing like that.
Give me the worst it is for you. Give it to me.
Who's your favorite sports teams ever? Baseball.
My favorite baseball team is the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, you got good taste. NFL.
My favorite NFL team is the Tennessee Titans. I'm all about state pride now. When the Titans came here, that's when I became an NFL football fan.
Boy, they've got to do better than they have in the preseason. We're hoping they do. We don't want to die, but we're hoping they do.
Fingers crossed, we sure are. But they've big expectations for them this season.
Absolutely. Are you an NBA fan at all?
I'm not really. I grew up just like everybody did in my generation, loving the Chicago Bulls, with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Tony Kukoc and all that, Steve Kerr, all that bunch. But
been fun.
It has. It's been a really good time.
Glad to have you with us.
Honored. I really am. I appreciate it.
Justin Swallows. Tune in. We got a lot of different things going. 1400 AM WJZM, 105 on the FM, The Wolf. For Justin, for Steve Sawyer behind the scenes, yours truly. Until next time, have a nice rest of the day, folks.